Welcome to the Productive Life podcast. In this episode, I'm sharing all about how I made my 2020 vision board. Welcome to the Productive Life podcast hosted by me, Megan Minns. This is the podcast for entrepreneurs who want to be more productive in their business and their personal life. Because as a business owner, your business and personal life are connected, and we can't talk about one without talking about the other. Each week, you'll learn about productivity, organization, personal development, self-care, business strategies, and more. And now, let's get started. I don't know about you, but I have always wanted to make a vision board. I've always thought it would be really cool. I've always seen other people's, heard their stories about what came true, what they were able to actually create in their life. And especially as I've been doing more woo-woo mindset work in the past year, I'm all into it. So I was like going to do a vision board at the end of 2019. It was on my list. I even told my intuitive execution clients, like, I'm going to make a vision board. I can't wait. I'm so excited. And I think I attempted to do it like 3 or 4 times. And I would get like part of the way through the process and then stop for whatever reason. Like something came up. I had a certain time limit dedicated towards it and it needed more time than I thought it would take, or I wasn't enjoying the process. And I also kept feeling like, oh, I need to have the perfect image. Well, should I have a magazine, or is Pinterest good enough? And it totally fed into my tendency to overthink or overanalyze or procrastinate. And I was really trying to not let it become that. So I kept kind of having to like cut off the process halfway through. So I kind of thought for a while there, maybe I just wouldn't have a vision board. And I was actually watching Sunny Lenarduzzi's YouTube video, and she was talking about her vision board. And then I think within the same week, Erin May Henry on her YouTube channel, she was talking about a vision board. And I just was like, I need to do my vision board. It's time. Even though it's now March, I actually made mine at the very beginning of March. I was like, you know what? It's not too late. I think it would be really helpful to see it. I am not the type of person who really easily visualizes things in my mind. And so I was like, having a visual aid will be really, really helpful for me during my mindset work, during my visualization practice. And also I need visual cues around the house for like what I'm working towards, my affirmations. I love that kind of stuff. So I actually bought a frame. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see behind me that that's what it is. It's hanging on the wall behind, like away from my desk on the other side. So I'm not staring at it while I work necessarily, but it is in my office. I see it every time I walk by my office, every time I come into my office while I'm doing my mindset work. And I love it. It's beautiful. And I think that's what was really helpful for me, is to frame it in a way that it's just always up and it's not like hidden anywhere. So I see it all the time. And it just made it look really pretty and kind of seem more like a piece of art since it is in a frame. Even though it's just an IKEA frame, it's still there. So I just want to walk you through like how I went through this process in case it's helpful for you, because even though you're going to be listening to this and, you know, I think towards the end of March, like if you haven't done a vision board yet and you've been wanting to, you can just consider this your sign to do like a quick and dirty, imperfect, doesn't have to be like the most gorgeous thing ever version of a vision board. I also bought nothing. Like I already had this frame, but even if I had, that would have been the only thing I bought. Everything else is stuff I already had. So I'll walk you through my thought process and what I did to create this vision board. So the first thing I needed to do is actually get clear on my vision. Now, part of the goal setting process that I teach inside of my program, Intuitive Execution, is getting super clear on your big picture vision. This is really important. It's one of the most foundational exercises, and you can do it really quickly right now as well. All it takes is you giving yourself 5 to 10 minutes. You can do it in less, but I find like 5 to 10 minutes is a good amount of time for you, and a piece of paper and a pen or pencil, and actually just write out what you would love to see happen in the next 3 years. I think 3 years is a really good sweet spot because it's far enough away that you kind of let yourself dream big, but it's not so far away that it feels totally abstract. So I did my own big picture vision exercise. So I just journaled out, what is the vision I have for between now and 3 years. So it's kind of anything and everything in between now and 3 years. Like, what do I want to accomplish? What is my life like? How am I feeling? What are the things I want to do or achieve? Or like, how is my life going to be in that time period? So step number 1 was definitely getting clear on the vision, which makes sense for a vision board. We want to know what the vision is. And I know some people just flip through magazines and pick things that inspire them. Totally cool. I definitely allowed myself while I was sourcing images to just also pick things that inspired me, even if it didn't directly correlate to a vision, but I wanted to start with the vision first. So step number 1 was to do the big picture vision, get super clear on what I want to bring in to my life and my business in the next 3 years. You could also do that, like you could do a shorter time frame if you want it to be really specific. My vision board is mostly for 2020, but I totally sprinkled in like the big things I want to call in over the next 3 years. So it might be mainly a 3-year vision board. I don't have like a set rule around that. So whichever feels good for you. I just wanted to be really inspired when I looked at it, and my 3-year vision is super inspiring for me. So the next step number 2, was to find images. The fastest way, the easiest way for me was Pinterest. I just made a secret Pinterest board, and it was like Vision Board 2020. And I just started searching in Pinterest for some of the things that were on my vision exercise. So, working out more, doing yoga, dancing, being flexible, maybe buying a house, having a baby, speaking on stages, having a team in person, getting my certification, hosting in-person events, having fun date nights, going to certain locations for travel, all those things. So I just was Googling things, and any images I liked, I pulled and added that to my Pinterest board. And then I started seeking out other things. So maybe in my business, I had something in my vision board that was like, I get featured in a lot of big publications. So it was like, okay, what are some publications like Entrepreneur Magazine or Inc. or Forbes? And I just was like pulling their logos. And then there was something else on my vision board that was like, have $1 million in revenue. Like, I'm nowhere near that currently. But like, I totally have that in my vision, like in the next couple of years. Like, I see that coming in to fruition. And so totally going to put that on my vision board. So what I actually did in Canva was I used Thrivecart for my payments in my business. So besides affiliate income, like almost everything comes in through Thrivecart. And so I grabbed a screenshot of a section on my Thrivecart dashboard that says annual revenue. And I took a screenshot of it, put it in Canva, and instead of the current dollar amount that it says, I like wrote over it like $1 million in the same font. Like it looks like it's in Thrivecart. And I saved that as an image. And I was like, yes. So there are fun things like that. So if you want a certain number of YouTube subscribers, it could be like the YouTube plaque, or you could like edit like your Instagram followers to say like a certain number. I'm not too concerned with like vanity metrics, but sometimes if it calls in this higher level of inspiration, like totally go for it. So I was sourcing most of my images from Pinterest and then creating some like that when I wanted to. Then I took all those images and I downloaded my favorites, because I might have had like a couple to represent different things. So my actual favorites I downloaded, and then I went into Canva. And since I did have a photo frame that I knew I was going to put this in, I knew the dimensions that I wanted. You might just want to do like a letter, like a typical letter sized piece of paper. You could have a specific dimension. So in Canva, I just created the right dimensions to fit the photo frame I have. And then I created a new folder in Canva with all of my images in there. And then I just added them and kind of rearranged them, made them like all stack and overlay each other until I was happy. And of course, my little organized self, I have like kind of sections on my vision board. Like the top left is like mostly personal, and the bottom right is mostly like team and business. And then there's like a health and wellness section. And then there's like speaking engagements and certifications. And so it was kind of funny, but you don't need to be that like OCD about it. I just did what felt right for me. So the point was that I gathered the images in Pinterest, added them all to Canva to create the actual vision board. And then I just printed it out. Printed out one big photo, and that way I could just take a glue stick and glue it onto the piece of paper in the photo frame. And then it was all done. Now you could put this on foam board. You could totally cut out each individual image if you want to do that and cut them out and glue them individually. I knew that would take me way longer. So I just wanted to print it all out, already collaged, so I just wanted to print it all out already collaged, which is why I did it in Canva. And even the vision board I have, it's actually bigger than a piece of paper. And so I actually found a website that was free where you can upload a large image and it will like go ahead and cut it into US letter sizes so that you can print out 4 separate pages and just trim the edges and glue stick it all together. So that's what I did. Super simple, just using the ink in my normal printer. And I put it in the frame and hung it up. And it was that simple. I really loved this process. Doing it this way also made me feel like I could easily update it. Like if I called in something new, I had this new idea, a new vision in a couple of months, I could easily like update my vision board and just reprint it and not feel like I had to start all over again, find the same image twice. Like I always have those images saved, so if I ever want to reuse them, I can. So I like that. It's a little bit more efficient for me. Now for you, again, some people like the more creative, like organic flipping through magazine process. So totally create your vision board however you want to. I just had never seen anyone do it this way, so I wanted to share it in case it seemed easier for you as well. And I really liked that I have this image now. So I have this image saved on my computer. I have it saved on my phone. I have it saved in a lot of other places besides just this frame so that I can kind of access it whenever I'm feeling like I need to reconnect with my vision. So that's how I created my 2020 vision board. I seriously love looking at it. I do feel like it instantly reminds me at a glance of what I'm working towards, those big dreams that excite me and light me up, and like why I'm doing this, why I'm walking into this office, why I'm sitting down at my computer, and I just love it. So if you've been thinking about doing a vision board, would highly recommend kind of doing the same process. So just to recap, step number 1 is to get really clear on the vision. So you can do this in a lot of different ways. I like to do it by doing my big picture vision exercise where I specifically focus about how I want to feel, what I want my day-to-day to look like, what I want to have accomplished within the next 3 years. So step number 1 is to get clear on your vision. Step number 2 is to find the images. So you can do this through Pinterest like I did. Instagram's also a great option, or magazines, whatever way you want. But step number 2 is to find the images. Step number 3 is to add them to Canva. So if you're doing this digitally in particular, that will make sense. So adding it to Canva, like making the arrangement, actually making the vision board, step number 3. Step number 4 is to print it out. And step number 5 is to either frame it or put it on a foam board or do something to display it so that you can look at it all the time. And as a part of that as well, like distribute that image anywhere you want to. So you can make it your phone wallpaper, your computer background. You can just save the file on your computer desktop so you can quickly, open it up when you want to. You could, print out a second copy and hang it in your bathroom. Truly endless opportunities. And I just love the idea that I always have an electronic version saved. I can always reprint it, reuse it. I could have one in multiple different rooms. And my little organizational, efficient self kind of loves that unique approach on a vision board. So yeah, if you decide to create a vision board after listening to this, I would love to hear from you. Be sure to send me a DM on Instagram. My handle is Megan_Mins. If you're listening to this or watching this on YouTube, feel free to leave me a comment below. Let me know. You can always send my team an email. We're always down. I just want to cheer you on. I want to see your vision. And if you are listening to this, then I'll be sure to share the day this episode goes live. I'll be sure to share on Instagram stories what my vision board looks like so that you can see it. And I'll save it to my highlights as well so you can check that out. So happy vision boarding. Can't wait to see yours. And I hope that this was helpful. Thank you for listening to the Productive Life Podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, it would mean so much to me if you would share your biggest takeaway on your Instagram stories or wherever you hang out. This helps me understand what you find the most helpful so that I can make more episodes and resources like this. If this podcast has helped you at all, please take just 1 minute to leave a review on iTunes so that we can help spread the word about the Productive Life Podcast with others who may enjoy it. And last but not least, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast to get the latest episodes sent to you directly. To learn how to work with me one-on-one or get instant access to freebies, trainings, templates, workshops, and more, be sure to go to meganmins.com right now. I'll see you in the next episode.